Hello and welcome to another episode of Collab with Kiva. I'm your host, Kiva Slade. Today we are going to talk about scaling your business with SOPs. That's right, standard operating procedures. These are some strategies for maintaining quality and consistency. So, if you followed me for any time, you know that I made a joke in one of my emails. Are you down with ChatGPT? It was a play on Naughty by Nature's. Are you down with OPP, which we're not trying to be down with. But I really was talking about it in relation to SOPs. And SOPs sometimes get a bad rap. Let's be honest. Just like OPP, but that's a whole nother conversation. So it's really about creating documented systems in your business that will replicate outcomes that are repeatable and standardized, basically. Like, it doesn't matter if Sally or Jane or Bob is completing this particular task because of an SOP. All three of them are going to do it the same way. You're going to get the same outcome. And that's why I don't think that SOPs deserve the rap that they get. So as your business grows, documenting your processes becomes essential to maintaining consistency, ensuring quality, and training new team members. So today's episode is all about SOPs, why they are important, how you can create them, and implement them effectively. I don't want you creating them so they're sitting in Google Drive, in your project management tool, in some other software application. They need to be used. And remember, they're living, breathing documents. They will also require revisiting and updating. So let's get started, though, the importance of them in your business. And as a small business owner, and I don't care if you are a team of one or you have more than that, creating SOPs is, again, crucial for maintaining consistency and ensuring quality. If you're a team of one, when you bring on that first person, that VA or someone else who's going to help take some things off your plate, if you've created no Loom videos or something, a written SOP, then you're going to be frustrated because you're like, why did I hire this person? They're not able to help me. They're not taking things off my plate. You've not documented it. They don't know how to do it. That means you're going to have to train them to do it, which is going to frustrate you. Because why? You got to spend time training them to do the thing you wanted them to do, and that's what you're paying them for. So it is important to have SOPs. They can help your team understand their roles and responsibilities, reduce errors and inconsistencies, and basically just ensure that your business runs smoothly, even when you're not there. Gasp, I know, taking time off. Reality, it can really become your reality with SOPs. So I really want you to think about the importance of them. Just last week on one of my clients' teams, we spent a large portion of our team meeting going over a new SOP. We were crafting it basically as we went because we had an old one and some systems had changed in the business in terms of what we were utilizing. Some ways we added a different key personnel who was going to take on a different role, and we didn't have that when the initial SOP was created. So we took the time during our team meeting to flush it all out with everyone present to understand. And it was great because we have a team member who isn't really involved in that part of the business. However, her freshness to that process, her questions were gold. They were so amazing because they helped us see through some things that we might have assumed and what that would be like for someone who was totally new to the process to grasp, to understand, to carry out. So we literally went through the entire SOP. So everybody was aware of it. Everybody was clear on what the steps are, what the process is. And now we can move forward with everyone being clear. And that right there is so critically important because if you have things being done, some people are following the old way, some people are following the new way, some people are making up their own path. You're lacking that consistency. You're lacking quality. And I know SOPs are not sexy. They are not the things that you make you feel are your money makers. But that's where I tell you you're wrong. When you can start having SOPs and creating consistency and ensuring quality, that's going to lead you to more money. A heck of a lot faster than you dancing and pointing on some video on TikTok. I can guarantee you. Because you're setting up repeatable systems in your business. And again, you are also enabling your team, empowering your team to think through the process, to deliver the goods, and you're getting yourself out of that day-to-day minutia that so many of you are stuck in. So, you want to dance, go dance. But trust me, you really should focus on some SOPs. So, with that being the case, let's talk about creating SOPs. And we can go back and forth, do-si-do, around what that can look like, okay? And it looks different for every business. However, there are some things that are pretty similar. So when you're thinking about it, you want to identify the process. Like, what processes are going to be documented in your business? And let's just take one, for example, calendar management. Okay, you want to break down the process into steps, creating a detailed guide for each of the steps. So if your VA is going to manage your calendar, you probably have certain times on your calendar that are blocked off. So you want them to check for that. Maybe you have where you want a 10-minute buffer between meetings on the front end and the back end. So that needs to be in your SOP, because that way when they're looking for time to set up a meeting, they know that you're going to need 10 minutes on the front end, 10 minutes on the back end as a buffer. So they can't just squeeze something into a spot that it doesn't really fit. Okay. In addition to that, no meetings on holidays or no meetings on Mondays after 12 or something, whatever your parameters are. Those things need to go into that SOP. Okay. If you run a marketing agency, maybe you want to create a SOP about social media posting, like the process for your agency, because it's different for everyone. There's a different process if you're using Hootsuite versus Later versus Publer or whatever it is that you might be utilizing, Metricool. So you want to identify the process again, break it down into steps, like create the content calendar, write the captions, scheduling the post, then create a detailed guide for each of those, literally outlining the best practices for them to go through as it relates to that. This is really the bread and butter of the process, is really documenting it out. And I'll give you a tip. I talked earlier about Loom. We use Loom, record the process, and we take the, the captions that Loom generates, the transcript, and then we put that into ChatGPT, and we tell it to act as a technical writer and write out a detailed step-by-step based on the transcript. Use technology. Again, SOPs aren't sexy, but they don't have to be complicated either in terms of getting them started. So take the video and the transcript, put it in the ChatGPT, let it do its magic, and give your team or yourself a starting point with that SOP. And really, it has served wonders for our team and the teams that we serve, because it's that first part that's getting out of the way, And so now the team can go in, they can compare between the Loom and what ChatGPT has put out, make any necessary corrections, and boom, bam, you have your SOP. So again, this doesn't need to be a complicated process. Use tech in a way that helps you finish the process faster and utilize your team's skills and strengths better. And it's just an easier way to do it. So once you though have, understood the importance of SOPs, and then you've created some, it's really now about implementation. Again, we're not creating them to sit in a Google Drive where no one can find them, no one can access them, but they're I know they're there. They're there somewhere, or even in your project management tool. Oh, I have them in Asana. I have them in ClickUp. I have them in Trello. Yeah, but is anyone using them there? Does anyone else know that they're there besides you? So really, creating it's truly like the first step in the process. But after it's created, you have to train your team on it. That's it. If it's not walked out, and it's literally just that, it's just a document. It's not serving any purpose. It is not going to create consistency, and it will not ensure quality because no one is using it. No one knows it exists, or they know it exists, but they're not checking it, So having your SOPs as part of your onboarding process. Again, taking time during a team meeting to, hey, let's go through this one. High time we looked it over again with a fresh set of eyes. Let's go through it as we're on this call. Really going through. That way you can maximize the performance of your team. Also, you're like continuously improving your organization and your processes through those kinds of reviews. We change tech platforms, we add in people, maybe there's a different layer in your organization that comes about. Whatever it is, SOPs, they're living, they're breathing. They need updating. They need revisions. They need someone to periodically go back and check them so that, hey, is this accurate? Is this still how we do this? If not, let's update it. And so when you have that like implementation process on it, you want to, again, familiarize your team. You want to train them in that process. You want to also you want to measure performance, like to ensure compliance. Like, team, we've done this. Like, you start seeing people deviate from the SOP, ding, 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 it's time to have a chat. Like, oh, what in this SOP are you not understanding? Because like you're over in left field and I don't know why, because we have an SOP. So you use it as a tool to redirect team back to the standard. This is how things are done here. And then, now let's be real. If they can't, like you've redirected them 2-3 times and they're still off in left field, it's time to let them go be in someone else's field. I'm just saying, because there's obviously something there that's disconnected. Either A, they're not reading it, or they're not reading and adhering to it, or they're just a rebel without a cause and don't believe in following standard operating procedures. Whatever that case is, again, it's a way to help you measure performance and ensure compliance. Again, you're also continuously improving the processes in your business. And like recently, my team were about to finish up in the next month a 4-month project that we've done with a client. It's a management consulting firm, and we've done literally an SOP project with them. And see here, for those who catch this, we've been using Systemology by David Jonas as kind of like our kind of guide, in the sense of, and trust me, it's a hodgepodge in the sense of the SOPs I'm using. It's a different kind of format than what he suggests, but where we store them is different than he suggests. But really having someone like in this organization, we have a systems champion, someone who works inside that company whose job it is to be the cheerleader, to be the rah-rah, get everybody going. We're going to do something not fun. We're going to document processes. Yay! Someone has to take on that role. And then also designating what are called knowledge workers. Who's that person, or those? In some cases, it really is one person, or those people on the team who have that, the knowledge base for this particular, process that's being documented. Like who's the smartest person about this thing, And so we actually had 2 sets, like a team batch and what we call like an admin batch, because there's things that the CEO does that the rest of the team obviously, invoicing, accounts payable, different things like that. That's not related to the team. And then we had the team one. So we really just broke it down, and it's about, we were doing 20 SOPs, just get them really going. And it's been a great experience. We have, like I said, we broke them down. It's about 2 per week. And so all their team has to do is do the videos. Like, then they send it to us. We do the actual written SOP. We send it back to them. They do edits, modifications. We clean it up, and then they file it and make sure that everybody on the team who needs to know it has it. And it's been a dream. And I don't say that just for ourselves. I actually got an email. Actually, the CEO emailed my team and thanked them, saying she wanted to drop a quick note of gratitude. She was reflecting with her husband about the difference already experienced with the amazing operations management and systems documentation support provided by the 516 Collaborative, because we also do have an operations project with them as well. And it says, folks talk about quote unquote game changers, and you are certainly that for small businesses such as ours who are intent on setting a strong foundation to maintain, grow, and sustain over the long haul. Like, this is such a beautiful message because they literally are already seeing the benefits of the work that we're doing with them around that systems documentation. And we've had the conversation with this client. Like, it doesn't continue, like it can continue where we continue to do it for you. But honestly, you really want to bring that systems work in-house. You really want to bake it into the process your team is doing. Like, it becomes part of their work. Like, oh, we're doing something new. We need to document this. We need to record a Loom or a Google, what is that thing called? Google Meet video, because they use a lot of Google products and it just escaped me. But, record that video, the transcribe it, write out the SOP, review the SOP by the knowledge worker, all the processes that we're doing. We want them to start taking those in-house and baking them into what they do so that it doesn't go like another, 4 months, 8 months, 12 months where nothing has happened since the 20 that we did. We want this to continue. So, and we tell that to clients all the time because this really needs to become a part of how you do business, how you train team members, how you, again, can measure performance as well as ensure compliance. It is something that needs to be baked into your business. Again, I don't care if you're one person. You will not always be one person. And there will be a time you will want someone to help you. You want to avoid the frustration that comes with having someone help you. Have some SOPs. Then they are actually empowered to do the work that you want them to help you with. Without it, they're not, and you're both frustrated. So it's such a lovely message, knowing that also that, we know that we're making a difference, but we also know we're tackling something that is not normally like a top priority for a lot of business owners. So when we're able to do that, and this is a 7-figure business, that these are important things to continue growth trajectories. We know that these things are important, and we, partner with and collaborate with some amazing business owners to make them happen. So all that said, let's have some actionable takeaways. So again, the first thing I want you to do, identify the key processes in your business that need to be documented. Create a plan for creating those, okay? So whether it's around billing, customer service, inventory management, whatever it is, I want you to identify those key processes and really be serious about developing a plan for creating the SOPs. 2, involve your team. If it's just you, that's fine. Involve someone in your family or a biz bestie and say, look, I know you don't know a lot about what I do in my business. Can you watch this video and tell me if it makes sense to you? Give them Starbucks. Give them, whatever it is that they have an interest in for helping you out or barter and do something for them in their business. Maybe you become SOP buddies, If you have a team, involve the team in that creation process. As I said, we just did that for another client of mine, through our team meeting. But you really want to make sure that the processes and the procedures are they're effective and practical. Don't go creating, an SOP on something obscure that happens once in a blue moon in your business, that's not the thing. And to be so clear, people, I think, get afraid of SOPs because, like, oh my gosh, I have to document everything in my business. It's really an 80-20 rule. If you document 20% of the things in your business, I can guarantee you your business will be doing 80% better. So don't get freaked out saying, oh my heavens, I have to do all this work. No, what are those critical ones? And for the one client, we had a strategy intensive, and we talked about the operations in their business as well as systems, and really documented it, outlined what those top 20 would be in terms of critical areas in the business that needed to have team informed about in order to, again, create consistency and, ensure quality. But then also things that the CEO really needed to get off of their plate and spread that work around. So again, involve your team. And then thirdly, implement the daggone things. Like, they need to become a part of the training for your team, measuring performance, ensuring compliance, and just the continuous improvement of your organization. So I want you to track, and you can create a system for tracking them, like when the hours include dates as to when it was created, and then another date for when it's updated. So you want to make sure that you keep them up to date. Maybe quarterly you review those that are related to marketing, and the next quarter you review those that are related to admin, and the next quarter you review some other aspect. Whatever it is, you want to, again, they're not a set it and forget it. They're living, they're breathing, and we're not just trying to create them for the sake of creating to say that we have them if no one's actually utilizing them. So definitely implement them in the work of your business. So again, creating and implementing SOPs is essential for the success of your small business. I want you guys to rock out the SOPs. They're so valuable and so often overlooked. So again, they help you maintain consistency, ensure quality, training new team members, and all of the goodness that comes with that. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want to tackle an SOP project, feel free to reach out. But also, thanks for tuning in to this episode. And I really hope that you find it totally actionable. Like, you have marching orders, go forth and conquer. And I want to hear about those amazing SOPs that you're creating. Talk to you later. Bye.